Alright, just waiting for the chat to load. Cool. Okay, I also need to... I'm going to get rid of that reference image. We don't need that right now. First, I'm going to start off with what I always do, which is just to post this over on Twitter. Let everyone know that we are now live on the stream. And of course, let me know how the audio is. Make sure to move the mic a little bit closer. Alright, so what I wanted to talk about today is actually the interlockable objects. I've kind of been saving them, but there's a bunch of design issues that I wanted to discuss, and also to show you guys how they're being used in the game and get some feedback on that. So basically, these are giant structures, and I think I've shown a bit of it previously, but these are giant structures that you cannot pick up, but they do interact with gravity. So I'm going to go inside the game now and show you guys what that looks like. Hey, tiny angry crab. How goes the struggle? The struggle continues. The struggle is like air now. It's just always there. I have learned to live with it. Ah, okay, I don't know. I should have moved the player, but let's just get the player over there. So this is, for those of you that are new, this is the giant sandbox level where I test out a whole bunch of stuff. I want to get make sure I have some of the desktop sound on so you guys can hear. Mostly right now it's just the wind. Alright, so these are what I'm calling them right now interlockable slash polynominos. They're not tetrominoes because I think tetromino has to have 5 pieces made up of like 5 blocks, 4 or 5 blocks. Like they have to actually be from Tetris shapes, but these are not, so they're polynominos. But basically, you can see this blue-red structure, and then this this is a yellow-green structure. So when I rotate onto yellow gravity or red gravity, you can see this giant thing falls, and I can't pick it up. So they're kind of these giant structures, and the idea is having it came out of it's like, well, what if I can have giant structures that respond? What if the environment can change every time the gravity changes? Have I discovered the secret of climax? No. The highest difficulty is non-stop infinite climax. I don't have a Nintendo console. Well, I have an N64, but not any of the new ones. But it sounds like maybe I should play that. I'm actually not quite there yet. I do have my own theories of how the climax for this game would work, but it's still quite a bit ways for me to get to there, to have the tech ready to accomplish that. So until the tech is ready, I kind of just have different theories. Oh, I have Bayonetta 1 on Xbox. Oh, well, I only have a PlayStation 4. But I will look into it. So, but yeah, so then I can rotate into the yellow direction, and then this thing becomes active. So they always travel along a single axis. And now, what makes them special? Oops, I fell off. Right, yeah. So you can see these interlockables actually behave. The roll wrap affects them too. Now I think this one doesn't have a yeah, it doesn't have what's it called, a terminal velocity set, so that it just keeps getting faster and faster, which is not what I want to happen. Okay, I've also landed on the wrong side. I think this is where I actually have the puzzle. So you can see here on this line now, if you remember before, what we had was when you placed a box, the line would light up until it reached whatever object to turn on. Is it ignoring collision? No, it's not ignoring collision. It's actually, there's nothing stopping it, so it's looping because that's how the geometry of the world is. The problem is that there's just no terminal velocity set, so its speed keeps increasing. But anyway, so here I have this. So here what you can see is now I've got this line. There's a line actually on the interlockable itself. And now if this were working, that door should light up. Because it's like you want to think of this as, okay, now there's power being transmitted and it goes through the line. It goes through the line onto the interlockable and then it comes to the door. And what you can do is actually break the connection. Okay, so now you can see that line. So I've moved the bridge, and now the line is broken. And the line up there is, you can see, so this line is now off. So basically what we have is like a kind of the circuit switch system, and these are like wires. And the way they work is that I have these larger pieces where something can join them. So it's probably a lot. So let's just go ahead and make sure that this line manager is working. Right, so it doesn't have the line, it doesn't have the door applied. Hey, Ed Riofer, how's it going? Yeah, it is. If you have objects that are spanning quite a large distance, I think having a line connecting it just makes the most sense. It is something I've thought about changing, but I haven't been able to find a good solution. Ed Riofer, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a few days on the stream. I think now there's been a lot less viewers than previous week, but I mean it's not a major concern for me. So I think hopefully, you know what? We should just move the player to actually just start. Yeah, you know what? It's just the weekend. Why is this thing like... All right. Hey! Hello, Moonfei. Moonfane. You found a gravestone recently with your last name, and the first name was Willie. Well, technically my first name is William, so I think if I had a tombstone, it would be William on it. But perhaps that is a sign of some sort. Right. So I'm kind of going over this interlockable, kind of explaining how it works on a basic level. So as you can see, it's got these. So now when I place this box on the switch, that door should open. Right, okay, so you see now the door is open, and if one of these interlockable pieces moves, so see this is where it's connecting. So this is like an end switch, and it can connect to another end switch. Likewise here, another end switch. And then if I move, you see I've broken the line, but you can see that one is still filled. So it basically fills to whichever line end I have, and then the power there continues. So until it reaches the door. So an example would be, let's move this yellow piece. So what I really like about this mechanic is it forces you to move the entire length of the level. So instead of, you know, kind of like picking up these little boxes and doing like little micro puzzle solving, you're trying to move the entire level, get the entire. So you can see here now, you see this line has lit up all the way to the middle of the interlock. So now one problem with this is that it's very difficult to see the line. So you can see the line actually stops here, right? It goes from the end to the middle, right? This is where it ends, but I think I need to change. I think somehow the line needs to have. There needs to be like a center. It is very difficult to tell in the blue surface. So this is very temporary, right? This is, I basically took the double gravity cube and just scaled it up, which is not how it should look. I'm going to take a quick screenshot and show you what I think will be a much better visual way of communicating. But you can see, so the line communicates, and that it. Oh, so we should slow it down. There's a number of things too, is that you can have lines, this same line can be used, so can be used in multiple connections. So what I mean is here we see on one side we've got, hold on, let me just set up the, let me make the connection. So this is, ooh. Oh dear. Okay, now I've just thought of another problem that needs to get fixed, which is kind of annoying. Okay, so the problem I just realized is that we put the door on the line manager to tell it, like, that is the door to open. Except now the problem is there's actually multiple line managers. So it's like, do you want to put it on this line manager or this line manager? And I think you should put it on, technically I think it should be on this line manager, but there's no way to make sure it's the wrong. Like, see, it doesn't. So it sounds like, it seems like it, no, you know what? You're right. So this is something I need to check with Chris, but it should be this line manager, because this line could connect with any, this switch can power any door. So it can lead to any door. So it should only be the line manager that's actually connected to the door. It actually, yes, it is like 3D Rush Hour. It doesn't crush you, it actually just like lands on top of your head. Right, so, okay, so you see we have two lines here, we have two structures, we have one square powering this here to this door, and another square on this here going to this. And there's one L shape. So this is how, the way I would use it in a puzzle is I would actually use it, you would have to use this same block. So the thing is, you could only have one door open at a time, right? Because this L shape can only be here or here, so you have to use it. So this is what I mean by we've made it sort of a generic connector system as opposed to having it hard-coded. Is this one, so you can actually kind of allow for a number of different connections. So in this one, you would need this L here to open this door, and then the L piece here to open that door. So I'm going to kind of run. I think having the player die would break the immersion a lot more. You know, it could just be that it's like kind of lighter, you've got a helmet on. I mean, there's no death when there's no fall damage, so why should there be fall damage on your head? Alright, so... Okay, so see what right now we're going to pick up this box. And you can see we... You know what, I'm also going to change... Oh man, I think the... Yeah, I'm gonna slow down the fill speed so that we can actually see what's going on. You are present, but yes, I do. You are present, but you have no qualities other than movement. That is very true. Technically, you're a capsule. You're an invisible capsule. Oh, hello! Hi, Sai. Thank you for hosting. I always really appreciate it. It's one of those weird things is because when you ask about emotions in puzzle game, I think the fundamental opaque nature of this protagonist is a small blockage. Interesting. The thing is, because I want... When you're playing, I want you to play as yourself. I don't want you... The thing is, I don't want you to pretend you're playing as someone... Like, you're playing as you. When I'm playing as me. And when Tiny Angry Crab is playing, you're playing as Tiny Angry Crab. You're not playing as someone else, which I think to me is really important. Hello, High Sight. So yeah, so you can see right now, okay, so you can see where this line is going to travel. It travels through that one interlockable, continues there, goes up. Okay, so there is a bug, and then it lights up. Hello? Why is that door not opening? Right, so that should be here, and there should be none in this line manager. Right. Oh man, I'm not set as game development. Yes, I think I'm set as Magic Circle. That must be it. Thank you. Thanks for the heads up. Yeah, I had it, Thank you for the heads up. Error updating broadcast. Right, yeah, yesterday I had like nobody was here and I couldn't figure out why, and I think Highsight is correct. It's because then for some reason I wasn't in the game development channel. But now I am. Thank you for the heads up. I've now updated. I agree, but I'm not. You agree. Okay, Tankrab says, I'm not making the player interact in a non-mechanical way through the avatar, so you won't be engaging the parts of somebody that might be more emotionally engaged. In the same way that you do a book of Sudokus yourself, you do not get emotionally invested. It is not... It's not quite like Sudoku, because there is a world... There is a learning journey. So it's like, yeah, I guess the theory, the thesis here is, can I make Sudoku, can I make playing Sudoku emotionally an emotional investment? That is the question. All right. Man, Highsight, thank you. Thanks so much for the heads up. Like, yeah, I was... Like, nobody was here yesterday, and I couldn't figure it out. And I think it's because I was playing the Magic Circle this weekend, and I changed it to another channel. Yep, still learning how to stream. Yeah, I think, yeah, right, John, so John does it a lot. Like, I really think of it as a spiritual journey that that the player is going on, where you, and I was actually super skeptical about The Witness when I saw the trailers, because I was like, oh, you're just solving these maze puzzles. But then I played it at PlayStation Experience, and I realized what he's doing is he's building these sentences with puzzles, and then you find out there's paragraphs, and then these layers of understanding that form. And it is like a pilgrimage. Like my one problem with Journey is that it's actually too literal, if that makes sense. Like you are actually just going on it's too much of a literal pilgrimage, and there's not quite as much mystery, and everyone is going to have the same experience. So okay, now we should see the door open, because now I've actually connected it. You can see there's a lot. That end piece is, I think just the order is incorrect. Okay, so now you see the door open, right? Now what we're going to do is actually going to move this piece, this yellow-green piece, to the other side and make the connection there. So now we are going to connect this line here. So now you can see it's now on the other side. It's now forming this other connection. We're going to go ahead and put, where we can see it travel. So of course we would need like really awesome sound here. Right. Okay, so I've messed up the door connection. I think I've connected it to there. It should be connected to this one. So it shouldn't open until this line is lit. Right now it's lighting up when this is lit. So you see, you can't have both doors open at the same time because they're sharing this line interconnectable. So that's something that's really important, is that this is a system where you can set up, you know, we just have switches and things that you can turn on and giant wire connectors. And the reason why I need these end pieces is, if you can imagine some piece landing here, and the player will be like, well, I'm confused as to why this second line isn't lighting up, and it's because it's only happening in these these squares. So I think part of it is I need to set up where, you know, there's a lot of visual communication that's missing right now. It's where the co-op element of Journey comes in, though. Everyone will have the same journey, but not the same journey with the same person, or at least it's extremely unlikely. That's true. So the one thing I had was I had like a number of companions over my playtime, and the funnest part is the people that like respond to you. So when you signal, they signal back, and when you do two, they do two, and when you do like the big jump, they do that as well, and you guys wait for each other. But I also had someone that just like kept rushing ahead and didn't respond to me, and that wasn't really fun. I was just like, okay, you know what? You don't really want to play. Why don't you just continue ahead on your own? So there's also like a lot of you know, you can have almost a negative experience too with Journey. Journey's literal nature is its strength. It isn't grabbing at somebody else's meaning through allegory or metaphor. The thing itself is what it wants to transmit. Yeah, but I just think like it's like anybody can go through it. I think Journey in a lot of ways is not a challenge, which I think an actual pilgrimage should be, right? It's like not everyone will make it to the end, which is both good and bad. Like I think of Starseed Pilgrim, and to me that is a lot like Journey, where it feels like this pilgrimage you want to go on, but you really have to work. Like I still haven't finished it, but it just feels like it's there calling me. I don't think you can fault the game for that, though, unless the game set up an invisible wall that halts progress. Right, that's true. Yeah, I think it can't. Right, it's not the game's fault, and I do think, for what it is, the interactions have done really well, are really well done. Right, it is not as far as you can go with video games as a medium, but that's fine. So it's like I kind of would like to have that same emotional impact. Part of it is I kind of, the thing is, it's like I want my cake and eat it too, right? It's like I want this challenge that Starseed Pilgrim has, but also but designing the game in a way that everyone can experience it, unlike Starseed Pilgrim, which is just brutally difficult to get into. Alright, so anyway, I showed you, so with this line, so the interesting thing is, there's actually multiple lines that you can have. And I'm going to show you that right now, which is because you can actually have, so this line is actually a green line. So you can see this LP actually has multiple lines on it. And I'm going to set up so let's go ahead and make, oh, so I want to fix this, because I think this shouldn't have, right now this line. So the problem is I'd have to go through every single one of these lines and check if they're connected to a door, which is kind of annoying. Right, so only this line has the door connected to it, so only this one should light up. One of them, the door opened way too early. It's not this, which... Oh, so the problem, the really annoying thing is with Unity's prefab. Oh no, it's this one, so this one should have it. With the door prefab, with the prefab system, it doesn't, when you click on an object, it goes to the prefab and not the parent, which is pretty annoying. Doors game. Oh, interesting. Mind-bending, minimalist, first-person logic game where your sole purpose is to traverse a strange world in search of bacon? I'm gonna watch this. Portal meets the Stanley Parable. This is interesting to me. I haven't heard of it yet. Exactly one door is correct. Oh, but I think it's logic and not so much mechanic. It looks nice, but I'm not sure I dig this this door logic thing. All right, I'm just gonna set up one more thing. I basically want 2 lines. We're gonna set up an additional door here. Yeah, but I don't feel like I earned Journey. I don't feel like I earned the ending of it. Which I think, I don't know if that's important to make the player earn it. Oh, I need to make sure you can't have different line connection pieces. You know what? For the purpose of this, I'm gonna make the blue. We're going to duplicate the second line manager on the interlockable T, and we are going to make it green. Oh, by the way, I think, I don't know if you guys follow anyone's on NeoGAF, but it looks like someone shared it on Someone shared it on the. It got on NeoGAF, which is super exciting. Wow. Depending on release timing, I feel like this game can be as big of a breakout hit as Rocket League was. Thank you, Brawl96. Yeah, I love what this guy says. He's like, was just going through some old E3 videos and found this, which I somehow completely missed. Wasn't particularly impressed at first. Then they left the tutorial building and I was in. Just trying to imagine what a Morpheus version would be like. So that's really cool. I'm all about the slow build-up. So, okay, so basically, what I want to do is... Has anyone here been playing Rocket League, by the way? That game seems like it's doing wonderful. And I've played it, and it is a ton of fun. I also met some... It's funny because I remember seeing the game at PlayStation Experience and meeting one of the devs, and it's not... I feel like there are some games that are just talked about in the indie scene a whole ton. Like, there are definitely some games that are like indie darlings. And Rocket League, like, wasn't. Like, no one was talking about it, and I was just like, who are these guys? But it was a really fun game, and they were super nice. And they gave me a lot of good feedback on Relativity as well. The, like, one dev that was there. And then the game came out, and everyone's talking about it, and it's made me really... it's like, now I just don't trust Twitter hype. I think you just gotta make a good game. Alright, so you can see what I'm doing is I'm building this line, and I'm making this one blue for now because I actually just want to set. Okay, so for some reason you see the blue color is not updating. Does blue work here? Blue doesn't. Ugh! Christopher! Alright, okay, for some reason the blue line isn't updating, but so that's not important right now. So anyway, I'm going to make this... I just need it to be another gravity, so you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make it yellow. So definitely not green. Let's duplicate this line manager. Ed Riofer, by the way, how'd you find out about doors? I'm curious because you seem to have a much better grasp of, like, work in progress indie games than I do. Alright, well, first of all, that's inverted. So you can see, I know the nice thing with having these arrows is I know that's actually the reverse direction. So I'm going to go ahead and reverse this. Ooh, these lines are going to be really... I can already see these lines being a bit of a pain to work with. Oh, you greenlit it on Steam. I see. It's also part of it too is that it's like really, it is very slow, which I think affects. Okay, now what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and place a square object in here. Well, I was gonna say the nice thing about these lines is that I have the arrows on it, but it's a lot of just fine-tuning. Like, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing right now, but I kind of have to, like, place it, and if it changes direction, I gotta make sure the order of it is correct. Right, so, okay, so see, this is, like, this needs to be here. I just don't know if there's a way to make it more efficient, and then I gotta, you know, when I put the box here, it, of course, needs to go inside this. I don't know, there's just a lot of, like, checking things that's involved. Okay, so basically what I'm testing for here is that this L shape has 2 lines on it. So it can light up both this door from this blue switch or this green switch to this door. And this should have, right, that door connected. Now, this shouldn't work right now because I have this line set to yellow. Notes for Chris, 2015-07-28. Line manager, blue gravity select is not working. Desktop notes for Chris. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if this is working. Oh man, I forgot to put a green box there. So yeah, like in the previous version, I used to have to put this trigger checking to see if this box was there in place. So I was kind of like faking a lot of that. Why are the lines on at the beginning? That still hasn't been fixed, and I'm also getting a ton of errors, which is slowing it down. This is very, very painful. It's like you get to a certain stage in the game's development, and there's just too many things in there. Come in here, box. Alright, so I want this green box here, so it's just a lot easier to stop choking. Yeah, there's just a ton going on in this level. Alright. That should be good enough. Let's save this and then run a quick test, and then we can talk about trees. Yeah, I think I want to play... I'd have to play Doors to see what it's like. Yeah, it's logic, but it's not mechanic. Yeah, I don't see, why is that light on? It shouldn't be light on. It should be off. Okay, so great. So see, that's the other thing. It's like I'm having a really hard time seeing the green line on this piece, which is not good. Okay, so we know that door should open up, so the light is traveling through this. Yeah, I bet that's the order. Wait, why is it? Yeah, you know what? It's the order. Why is that door not lighting up? Oh God. Okay. Okay, first of all, the square object should be 1. Alright, here's what I'm really confused about. Okay, you know what? Maybe it's because when I duplicated it, you know what it is I think this line, you know what I bet it is that I think this line is still looking at, wait a minute. So this line is looking at the new door. Oh. Okay, so for some reason that door is not working, but yeah, there needs to be an easier way to do this. This is gonna get super confusing later on. Right, so, well, first of all, this should fix the square, that square not lighting up correctly, because I think it was the... Yep, there we go. Okay, I don't know why that door is not opening. It should. But, let's ignore that problem for now. And what we are going to do is come here, and that... Let's see, this line should light up. That line should not light up because it's yellow. Okay, well, that's not working because it should test for gravity. It should make sure that it's the same gravity. So that shouldn't light up, right? So that's the problem. Right now, you see it's like the yellow line has somehow lit up as well, and I don't want that. It should only light up the same colors. Show note for Chris. Interlockable lines should only light up if of the same color. Right now, it doesn't. But actually, you know what? Let's go back. Let's get back into the game and just let's break this. So I think we should see it. Okay. So that is off. Right, that is still on. Yeah, so one problem with this right now is it needs to be a lot more visually clear that this isn't going to anything, because the problem is the player is trained to think that when something is lit, they're correct, they're done. Right, so it's like, how do I let them know that this isn't finished yet? And I'm wondering if that should be like flashing. So actually, this would be a good time to talk about the visual design of this. And right, so those are the switches where I've highlighted them. Let's open up one of the screenshots I have just taken. Okay, so like I think what I would like to do is have on every face of the line of the interlockable, the center of it would actually be white. So let's make a new layer. This is actually... The website cut out for you? Are you talking about doors or Twitch? Right, so see, I would have... The thing is, I also don't like this yellow-green stripe system. So... So it would be like, it would look like this. Oh shit. Hey, what the heck? I thought I selected the inside only. Oh. Let's go for a slightly thicker line. Probably not the best way to draw things. So, like, basically what I want, what I'm thinking is that the center... What? Why is it... Okay, you know what? Forget it. I'm just gonna... just color it in. I don't know why it's getting the... outside of that one particular... Okay. Right, so I'd have this line, and then you could see the green part a lot easier, I'm thinking. So it would be white. Be like this. Right, and then that maybe this thing would blink. But the problem is, where do I put the arrows? And what do I do with this color? Alright, so it would work for this one as well. I would have it look like this. Just gonna draw it on a new layer. Yeah, because I am really bad at drawing in Photoshop, but I'm also not using a template. I mean, a tablet, so... Alright, so this is how the... Right, but, okay, so I really don't like the red-blue stripe, but how do I... Right, and of course this would work here as well, because we'd have it on all four sides. So the question is where to put the arrows. And likewise here, because we would basically have, you know, it'd be like this, right? So I don't know where to put the arrows. I don't want, like, can I put them on the side? Maybe they can be like this. Like, one idea I have is having it this way. That might not be too bad, because then that basically, I would only need 4 arrows. Well, I would have needed 4 arrows anyway. Well, technically I get away with 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2 the sides you should have arrows, the faces, but anyway, let's just call this interlockable design 1. Interlockable design 2. Alright, anyway, so that's the interlockable. So we still have a bunch of problems, but it is there. And in the meantime, if you have suggestions for how these things should look, let me know. I definitely think that should blink when it's... I think it should flash when it's open, like when it's not connected to something, but it is powered. Of course, I think sound effects, once they're introduced, would make a big difference as well. So actually, this part is gonna be for David. He's working on the game, and I needed to write a bunch of parameters, but it was actually kind of difficult explaining, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do the stream, explain it there, and then send you the video, and you can check it out there. So first what we're going to do is we are going to move the player object back from the interlockable area to the tree area. Okay, so wow, this frame rate is awful. There is some... there's a bug somewhere. I'm going to ignore it. It's not too bad. So, okay, so you can see there's a tree. It's got these leaves growing. This is what I would call a low-hanging fruit. I can pick it up when I'm standing on the ground. Okay, this is low-hanging. So low-hanging is not a problem, because I don't actually need to worry about a path. That is a high-hanging fruit. And the idea is to get there, you actually have to walk along the tree. So there is a bit of a platforming challenge. Now, what I need to do is make this... is to make it not really easy to fall off. No, I think the chat is still going. People just aren't typing as much. So you can see I can walk along this path. Okay, so that's the annoying thing, right? It's like right now it's very easy to just accidentally fall off. So I think there needs to be something where as you get close to the edge, there's some sort of friction. Or I could just make the tree trunks a lot wider. It has other problems though. So the idea to get up to to get that leaf is there's a bit of a platforming issue. I'm not too sure how I feel about this. And then what you can do is you can rotate back on and grab it. There we go. So there's almost like a platforming challenge. Moonfane, you are playing a less artistic indie game at the moment. Okay, so you see that, like... I don't know how I feel about this, because it is... The problem is, especially if you're outside and you miss it, then it's like... You know, you can fall quite a bit. Make the tree trunks wider at the base. Thank you, Tiny Angry Crab, for your Twitch spam. It's always appreciated. All one needs is the appearance of being busy. So, that is a good point. I might make them wider. I think once I have the generating stuff, that's going to work a lot better. So, So I think, why do I want the player to have to climb the trees? If I have high-hanging fruit, which I think for trees they should have, it looks kind of weird to have low-hanging fruit all the time. Right? If I have high-hanging fruit, the only way to get it is to climb the tree. And I think it switches up the pacing a bit. I think it but the problem is, too, that I really hate platforming in games, but usually that's jumping, and there's no jumping here, so I'd have to test it. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's a nice change of pace. Certainly you don't want too many of it, so... Anyway, okay, so this is where I'd want to start for David. So, David, when you are watching the archive, this is where I'm going to start talking about these tree patterns. So first what I want to do is I am going to go ahead and color these pieces purple. And they're actually going to be part of an object called C-shape. C-shape. There's a mechanism to shake the tree. That is not a bad idea. Shaking the tree is not a bad idea. I do like picking a tree off a cube. One argument against shaking the tree is it would have to then reinitiate all of the cubes. And I think that's a very big, that's a really big... If you didn't mean to do that, that can be kind of painful. I think maybe if I just had a wider base... I think if I had a wider base and then the player didn't fall off... I mean, it's sort of a puzzle, right? It's a platforming puzzle. But I'm wondering if I had a wider base and the player didn't fall off as easily, maybe that pathfinding won't be a problem. And then we could limit the number of paths that, you know, we just don't have too many of those. With shades like these, who needs to change the direction of the gravity? Those do look like multi-direction gravities. So... why is the tree cool? Well, the tree basically acts as a cube dispenser. If you lose a cube, you can pick it up again from the tree, right? You just pick it off, and it's actually a whole mechanism. Well, it controls it's actually all part of the system with the cubes. So the cubes are actually fruit that grow on the trees, and then you can do other stuff, and you can grow trees later when you combine it with something else. So, right, like if you take a cube and you lose it, you can actually get it back again by picking it off the tree. Well, you pick it off the tree, so it's not, and then you can carry it away. Alright, so this is what I mean by the C-shape, and so let's say that block is a cube that I want to pick off. Basically, the C-shape is necessary in order for the player to rotate back onto Oh, fuck. Okay, yeah, maybe this is bad, because it's like I'm getting frustrated right now. And the trees also do add an organic... Right. The trees are a nice organic way to avoid the box dispenser, like in Portal. And I used to have those dispensers, and they were... I took them straight out of Portal, so... Like, this is just too thin, right? So you see this C shape, what it does is it lets me land here, and then I can rotate onto this gravity, and it lets me pick off the box. So now the thing with the C shape is that the trunk, like what I think it should start off with, and the algorithm, and last night, La Travis was here, and we talked a bit about the tree generating algorithm, and what it should do is it should start off with the cube. We set the position of the C shape, and then from the C shape we grow the trunk. So that means, because basically the trunk can only grow this way. Like, I cannot have the trunk like this. I can't have the trunk go in this direction. It should only go in this direction of the C shape, because if it goes in here, then as the player walks up here, then they're stuck here, so they can't end up getting to this side, right? So the trunk either has to be flush with it or in front. So what we do is we would set up this tree trunk. So the tree trunk would grow from this, and it's basically just a bunch of winding segments, right? And the tree trunk, we know, would always go down. As we build the tree trunk, we set up these red blocks, and these are blocks to ensure that this is going to say this is where the player is going to be. We need these blocks here to carve out the area for the player to walk on. Once we have the blocks, then we generate the tree, the branches around it. And now the branches are a number of things, right? So we have the trunk piece, which is 1 by 1 by 1, and I think we might make them... You know what? I think Ed Riofer is right. We should probably make them a lot wider. I feel like we can get away with 1 by 5, 1.5 by 1.5 by 1.5. It would also allow for much bigger trees, which is nice. And then, so these are the branches. And so the thing is, the bending algorithm, for trunk it always goes downward, but it also doesn't, and for the branches, you can see it can start off going this way, so it can be on the same level as the, so if it's yellow, the next branch, it's purple, it can be on the same level as yellow. It can be slightly lower than yellow, right? Or it can be higher than yellow, and then if it's lower, it can go in these directions, but it's going to be to the left, to the right, going forward, but it's never going to go backwards. Like, it doesn't, it never goes this way. So actually what I want to do is test out doing it this way, because I think it's a really wide trunk. I kind of like, you know what, I don't think it's actually such a big deal to have it be 1.5 by 1.5. I think it's actually not a bad idea. I'm a little worried it's gonna look too big. Right, like that looks really thick. I mean, I could, of course, do something where there's almost this magnetic thing that makes it not easy for you to walk off. Alright, so trying to make the equivalent of that here. So we would have this C shape. Yeah, maybe Ed Riofer's right. You know, I mean, part of the reason why I want this... Yeah, it's probably not a big issue. And trees are pretty big, right? I mean, in real life, they I think... Alright, so yeah, I mean, part of the reason why I want to make the tree generator thing is just to make a whole lot of trees to test. Like look at this. This is how I had to make them before. I gotta like place each piece And I just feel like this whole process can be automated. Hit a bunch of buttons, get a tree, walk around and test it. And I think I might also have it where it's like you generate this branch first and then I can kind of do some hand placement. So it's a mixture of procedural and hand place. So, alright, let's test out this new tree trunk. I think 2x2 is going to be too thick. Oh, by the way, on Friday we are going to be doing game critique, and I'm going to have my friend Ian Sundstrom. He is a indie developer based in Bloomington, Indiana, and we're gonna be talking about his game Stacks on Stacks on Stacks, which is kind of this Katamari-ish. I was heading over to the interlockable section. You know what? I don't think it's bad actually, and it does make platforming significantly easier. I still fell off, but yeah, you know what? I think it's going to be 1.5 by 1.5 by 1.5. You know what? Let's also try with 2.2.2. Oh, you know, see, so the other thing is I was thinking these trees that you have to climb, I might just always make them indoors, so if you fall, it's not as big of a pain. But yeah, like that looks like a much easier path to navigate. But, you know, I kind of want to try it. Let me try it with the controller, because I feel like it's harder. Let me try it. I'm trying it with an Xbox 360 controller. I think it's easier to do it on a controller because you can actually, like, you can walk slowly, whereas with the keyboard, if you want to walk slowly, you can only tap W. Right? Yeah, so see, with the controller, you can really walk very slowly. A controller is a lot easier. No, you're right. A controller is easier. Yeah, I'm doing it with the controller now, and it is way easier. Right? Where we get to here, and we can jump down, and I'm also not sure if this is enough to communicate to the player. Yeah, no, so see, like, I'm gonna try keyboard now, and it's like, I'd have to keep tapping like this. Which I'm not a fan of, unless I do hold shift. No, you know what, I should do hold shift to walk slowly, right? Because I don't think I want run, so I would just do hold shift to walk slowly, and then have the normal speed be a lot faster. Oh, you know what? Here's another suggestion that someone made too, which was that if you hold shift, you know what? What if I did hold shift and you walk slowly and you don't fall off edges? Right? So if you're holding shift, it won't let you walk off an edge. It won't let you walk off an edge. So you can't fall off. So here you would have to not hold shift. Let go of shift to calmly jog. Yeah, so, yes, so Ed Riofer, you are correct. It is going to, our tree trunks are going to be, yeah, edgelock mode. I like the no fall shift idea. Yeah, you know, because I've seen a lot of cases where the players keep falling off, and it is super frustrating to watch. And that's like not what the game is about, right? Yeah, there's no benefit to letting people pepperoni themselves on these. You guys are 100% right. So yeah, actually, so this is why I didn't want to make the interlockable a secret, because I knew, like, I'm getting some, like, if I kept trees a secret, then it's gonna come out, and it's gonna be like this, and then all the reviews are gonna be like, yeah, the puzzles are fun, but like, why? What possessed the dev to add these stupid platforming trees? But yeah. The 1.5 edgelock mode, you know what, that is going straight here. Chris is going to work on hold shift to edgelock. Can't fall off when holding shift. And the trees will be... Are they earning their fruit? Yes, they are. Because you know why? So here's where the puzzle of the tree is, right? So let's use this as an example, okay? We're gonna walk on this. Let's say the fruit is there. You can't get the, you have to figure out what path to take. So for example, this is not a valid path to the fruit because there is no way, there is no place you can rotate onto back to the blue gravity to grab it. This is a valid path. This is also a valid path because you can fall down. Well, but if I'm doing it, is there a controller equivalent to holding shift? I mean, you could always just do hold L2, right? Hold L2. Or you know what, you could do hold down the left stick. Like pressing it down, you could do that because I think that's how some places do run. It's a lot harder to move though when you're holding down. So I think I might do. That is a good point, eh? I think I might do hold down the L trigger. Hold down the left trigger for shift. Because I think that's also how some places do run. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the click stick. The thing is, when you put the click stick on it, it feels like it actually is really hard to move around with the left click, like it, because you're pressing down and it makes your thumb less easy to move around. So, but that raises the question: if I have the hold lock, then maybe why can't it be 1? I do think I actually think the 1.5 doesn't look bad, so that might, I think that actually looks better. So we're gonna do 1.5. Yeah, we're gonna use. I have plans for the bumper because you can rotate the cubes, and that's what I want to do for the controller. You can use these to rotate cubes. There's a rebindable controls. It doesn't really matter what you set it to at the end. I am planning on doing rebindable controls, but I think it's still good to think of what a good default setup is, right? I mean, I know people are going to change it, but I think it's still important to think about. Yeah, so definitely let's hold shift to walk slowly and not fall off the edge. That is a good solution to a problem that I've had for a long time. Where is my mouse? My mouse is in... My notes for Chris. Hold shift to walk slowly and edge lock. Choose would be 1.5 by 1.5 in the base. Right, yeah. I mean, no, I mean it is so good to think about it. Yeah, like, so I bought NHL 2007 because I really liked that game as a kid from EA. And they made, so you're using your joysticks to control the twin stick, and they made clicking the right joystick, removing your goalie, which is the stupidest thing ever, because when you're like in the heat of the moment, you hold the control really hard, and then all of a sudden your goalie just runs off, and then the other team scores on you, and they didn't let you rebind it. It was the stupidest thing ever. So yeah, I think the 1.5 is very, very good. So So anyway, David, so those are the rules. I think it should start with, like I was saying, we start off with the cube. We generate the C shape, which should always be directly beneath the cube. And then the trunk, the C shape has to have the direction, right? Like, if it goes down this way, the trunk needs to either always grow out in one direction only. It can't go this way. It can't dip down. Like, this piece is down, this is what I mean. The trunk cannot dip down that way. It always has to continue out that way. We would then, so we have this, we generate this trunk, we put the boxes in there to make sure there's enough space for the player to walk on. We then grow the branches around it, the player, and the leaves always grow on an upward facing. So you see this part of the branch is sticking up, and that's where the leaf grows. So it never grows at the end of one that's just shooting straight out. It always has to bend up and then grow a leaf. And the leaf can be a number of sizes. They're usually pretty boxy. So that's how, those are the rules for the tree. I don't think we'll actually get to working on it tonight. I might work on it tomorrow, or we'll see what we'll leave. I do want to kind of get started with using ProBuilder to generate a very basic system, and kind of let David do some of the hardcore stuff. But that is it. So that's the tree. Those are the interlockables. Visually, these need to get totally redone. And yes. So anyway, huge thanks to everyone for all the feedback today. If you're new and you like the stream, make sure to follow. Also, thank you all for sharing about the stream. Thank you to Highlight for hosting it on his channel. Yes, so tomorrow we will keep improving on the trees. Also, I started 3D printing today. I started this residency at UIC Makerspace, but this is, I don't know if you guys can see this, we 3D printed a box. It took like 20 minutes to print this thing. It's 2.5 by 2.5 by 0.5 centimeters, and it took 20 minutes. What I love to do is I love to try printing out some levels, and the thing is, because they're basically, all the instances, some of them connect, right? So I can have, theoretically, you could connect all these pieces and make something, which would be kind of cool. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but this is, anyway, I might take my laptop to the makerspace and stream. I was thinking of just like putting the camera in front of the 3D printer if I do something big and just set it to stream for like, no, I'll probably do like a split screen with OBS so you can just see the 3D printing, and then I can like be talking about whatever else is going on. Some architecture stuff. Tiny Angry Crab says, am I flying off into the spaghetti zone now? I actually do not know what that means. Does it mean just being crazy? If so, yes. I think it'd be interesting to see what you were thinking about the tactile sounds for stuff moving, stone grinding. Right, I know, that's actually, so John Blow, I actually sent him a build, and he played it with that interlockable mechanic. And he said one thing, which is that, he's like, a lot of people think that polish is something that you add in the end, after you have your mechanics sorted, and that's not always true. Sometimes you need polish at the beginning, and he said, what you actually might need to start, and you know, I was like, oh, well, I'll wait for everything is done, and then I'll start adding sounds in. And he's like, for these large things, you might want the sounds right away, because the player needs that audio feedback, because you can't always see them, right? Because these things are just like falling all over the level. And I think he's like, you need that audio feedback of something landing and being really impactful, like this giant cinder block landing, going boom. Maybe a screen shake. The screen shake might be too much, but almost like, also like dust. Actually, I don't know about dust particles, but that I think would be kind of cool, having that giant piece come down and really feeling the force of it. there is a problem with it landing on the player, right? Because then when it lands on the player, it just like hits you on the head, which is kind of weird. So, Tiny Angry Crab just sent this to point out the sound. Whoa. Interesting. I do have some plans for sound design, but we need to. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea with the dust. I think I will do it. Yeah, interesting. Right? Because let's take a look back just at the interlockables and look around at yeah, there's no sound on these at the moment. Dust. Yeah, I do want that sense of implying weight and magnitude, because I think that's really something that's missing right now. The game is so abstract. Oh, and I think we do have a coming up. A week is open, so if any of you have work in progress puzzle games and you want feedback on them and would love to come on the live stream, definitely let me know. Shoot me an email. You can find it on the website, relativitygame.com, or hit me up on Twitter. Right? It's like see these two should, like, that should be like a boom thing moment, and two of these. Yeah, you know, I think this would be a really great. Yeah, Tiny Crab has really taken charge of the conversation here. It's different day to day. I think there's a lot of, earlier Ed Riofer was also talking, some days the chat's really busy. You know, that's just kind of how it is. So yeah, so the other problem is you can't see the color of the blocks when you're far away, which is a bit of a problem. That John had that same feedback as well. Everything looks kind of clean to me, though, almost like dust wouldn't even exist.
Thank
Yeah, so that's why that's kind of where Ali Jack, you also ruined it as well by speaking up. The this was just a private conversation with me and Tiny Angry Crab. So I think sound, we'll have to try it, you know, but I'm like, I'll implement it and then ask you guys, and then we'll have it up on the stream, and then we'll we can try it out. So yeah, like, that needs to feel really powerful. Like, I think this is just a great opportunity to really work on game feel. Oh man, the stream keeps freezing for you. Really sorry to hear that. I am, yeah, I think it's because I'm streaming at 1080 and I don't have the quality adjustment setting. We don't have enough viewers yet. I think it's because Ed Riofer is in Hong Kong right now, but I am going to TwitchCon at the end of September, and one of the things I'm hoping to do is talk to people from Twitch and see if they can give me some support, because I think the stream is something different. I don't think anybody is quite as open as I am with development of a game like this. Like I do, the game development streaming community is still very small. I mean, definitely much smaller, definitely a really small part of Twitch as a whole. And to be honest, I don't, yeah, and I see a lot of people who are doing like tutorial game streams, like, oh, hey, we're gonna make a short game to learn how to use Unity in 4 hours, but I don't see anyone actually like working on the mid to late stages of a game and streaming that. I know, like, Vlambeer does it with Nuclear Throne, but that was sort of the plan for them from the beginning, was to do a very open development, whereas this game wasn't actually, you know, that was part of my plan. It's just that it's, for me, it's been a really, a good place to get feedback on design like there's sort of a lot of puzzle enthusiasts and other game developers here, so it's been a really good place to get feedback on design issues, especially as you know, as a solo developer. I mean, I do have people working for me now, but they're doing programming, and I think for design, I'm still very much a one-man team. Okay, there's a bug where if the frame rate is kind of slow, you fall through objects. Yeah, Ed, I don't know if you saw the tweet, if I'm lucky, I might push 100 to 200 viewers, and that's just not that many. I actually think 100, 200 is a lot. My one worry would be, actually, I don't know if it's that many, if you can actually have a conversation, because sometimes you check out the big streams, and it's just like, the conversation is just nonsense. It's just like, it's going by so quickly. Have some windows that take the place of stairs. Why would I want that? Why would I want a window that takes the place of stairs? Wouldn't just that be confusing players? Right. But actually, you know, I mean, if I'm getting 100, 200 viewers a day, I think that would be super awesome. It is usually partnering on Twitch is usually based on viewer count, but they do make exceptions if you have like interesting content. And I don't know, you know, I mean, part of it is I'm streaming every weeknight, and I think that just to show, you know, I mean, part of it is I really enjoy it. It's like kind of a nice way to unwind at the end of the day while still doing design. But I think that would show Twitch that I'm actually serious about development. Yeah. So Eddie, I don't know if you Ed Riofer, I don't know if you saw the Kowloon Walled City. We were kind of just discovered that's been super. Yeah, 100, 200 viewers, I would be like super happy. And part of it too is I also want to start talking to other devs. Like, that's what the live game critique thing is. So this is more than just about my game. It can also just be like a resource for game development, because I don't see too many interviews. I see a lot of interviews done with journalists and game developers, and that to me is not as interesting, because they never. I just don't think journalists understand game development the way game developers do. So I actually, like, one of the people I want to talk to, I talked to Gabriel Williams. He writes Pro Builder. Oh man, we should get Draken. Yes, I do know. And Draken is like he's helped me out a ton. So I will I have to ask him, because I know Draken made Starseed Pilgrim. He's a developer based in Toronto, and he loves talking about the metagame in design. But the thing is, we'll talk to him. Yeah, he has a lot of really interesting points. The thing is, I don't think he likes to talk. Well, Starseed Pilgrim, the problem with Starseed Pilgrim is it's not like a really great game to analyze, because it's always about secrets and mysteries, and so I don't think he like really wants to do that. But I will reach out to him, because that would be super awesome, and see if that is interesting. Yeah, I will talk to him. So, what is it that I want to write? Kowloon Walled City. The hats would be awesome. Oh yeah, and also let me know if you guys have developers that you think would be cool people to talk to. So anyway, right, I was saying, like, I don't think journalists ask the most interesting questions, or at least the most interesting to game developers. But one of the people I want to talk to is Gabriel Williams, who is the guy writing Pro Builder. And you don't see the media covering development tools a lot, but I think that's super fascinating to. Okay, well, you have a good night, Tiny Angry Crap. I'm also going. I think maybe in August I might change the tweak the schedule a bit. So maybe like on Wednesdays I will stream in the afternoon, so people like you can catch it at a better time. I guess Ali Jack, you are in the Central Time Zone just like me. Yeah. So, so with Gabriel right now, he is in he's in Ireland right now, so it's like 3 p.m. his time. But I think maybe we'll do it on Saturday, because I think that would be super fascinating. You don't see game tools get covered a lot in games media, but I think they're doing really great work and would have a lot of insights. So, that being said, I think this is a good place to end the stream. I'm going to try to get some new designs for the interlockables for tomorrow, and hopefully make some progress on the tree generator. So thank you all for stopping by. If you're new, follow so I can try to get partnered on Twitch maybe one day. Really, I just want that quality setting. Like, they prioritize that for some people, but it would be nice so that I can stream at 1080 for archives, and people with not great internet connections can still watch it. Alright, you guys all have a good night, and I'll see you all tomorrow.